It is the Mike Show. It's the Tuesday edition of the program that brings us Megan Huffman from SHARE Greater Lynchburg. Hi.
Hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
I am as well. Bill's off camera right now, but he's still in the studio. Bill and I were talking, and I am in a great mood.
Oh, good.
I really am. I'm in a great mood. I'm all pumped up and ready to go for today's segment.
Great.
So each and every Tuesday, Megan brings us a guest, and it's a nonprofit organization that is on the SHARE Greater Lynchburg platform, just like 172 nonprofit organizations, and there might be more to come.
That's right. Yeah, we have a few in the wings getting ready to be approved, and it's totally free and no cost for nonprofits. And so we're looking to, let's get to 200. We know that they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're turning over the rocks and figuring out, where they are. But yes, please refer or contact us at any point. info@sharegreaterlynchburg.org. But
absolutely.
Today we have Amherst County Habitat for Humanity, an incredible organization doing great work in Amherst County. We have Debbie Habel with us today, the executive director.
Hello, how are you?
Debbie tells us she's been the executive director for 9 years now, and that's in nonprofit land.
Yeah,
that is an eternity. So congratulations, that's amazing. Almost 10 years.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time. And I mean, you brought us props.
Yes,
You brought us show and tell, so that begs. I'm sorry. I know we rehearsed the order of things, but I kind of want to know a little bit more about that. And spoiler alert, I happen to be upstairs in Tom Gertie's office, and Tom does a lot with Habitat locally and elsewhere.
Yes.
And I saw that very same thing, but I can't quite remember what it was or what he described. Yeah. Tell us about this thing.
It is an insulated concrete form.
Okay.
Everyone is familiar with Quikrete
and
concrete.
Yeah.
With this insulated form, you have your insulation. Your sheetrock would go directly on one side, your vinyl siding directly on the other.
Wow.
These little holes, these channels are for your steel rebar, and then you fill it with concrete. And because it's insulated, it cures much, much slower, which means it's even stronger than regular concrete.
Yeah.
And our next two houses are going to be built with this. It comes in 8-foot sections. This is just a little toy.
Yeah.
But it is it sustains 140-mile-an-hour winds, so an EF4 tornado. I was the construction. Yes, I was the construction manager for the EF3 in Elon. So I'm very, a lot of heart for storms and the damage that they cause.
Sure.
And it is an R factor of 27, which your standard construction is R factor of 16, 49 in the roof and 16 in the walls.
Okay.
So this is 27. So that means that it's going to be extremely energy efficient.
Insulation.
And thanks to grants through Habitat Virginia, we now have free solar on our houses. It's a solar lease. Not exactly free, $20 a month.
Yeah.
But Habitat Virginia pays for all the upfront. And so with the solar and this, their electricity bill will be next to nothing. Basically, the taxes and fees.
That is incredible.
That's very interesting.
So, isn't that cool?
Are there other habitats in the state doing this?
Only 4 houses have been built from this in the state through Habitat.
Wow.
So you all are really leading the charge. That's amazing.
And for a small rural affiliate, that's pretty amazing.
Really?
Our last 3 homes were Earthcraft. And they're the first houses we've ever had to do with a blower door test. Are any of you familiar with the blower door test?
No.
They seal off everything in the house, including the bathroom vents and the microwave and everything, and put this membrane over the door with a fan in it, and they pull all the air out of the house. By the square footage of the house, they know the air in the house. Yeah. And you're allowed to have 5 air exchanges in an hour's time. We had 1.3 on 2 of the houses and 1.28 on the 3rd. My son and I were watching This Old House last weekend, and they did a blower door on air, and their test was 1.58. So we beat This Old House.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's tremendous.
Yeah,
great.
so we enjoy doing a little outside the box, mainly because Habitat on a lot of fields gets the not in my backyard, and so let's get positive talk instead of the negative. So that's why we aim for doing things a little different, a little outside the box. And we're real excited with this. We are working with Habitat International, new product donations, and the president of the National Ready Mix Concrete Association is working with us to get us some free concrete.
That's fantastic.
Debbie, just out of curiosity, so before this, they would just have wooden joists in there, and they would blow in insulation or something to insulate. You wouldn't have this?
We would do our standard 2x4 construction.
Yeah.
You would have your insulation on the inside. You'd have a foam core on the outside.
Right.
And with the blower door test, and Earthcraft, you have to tape every joint on the outside. Mm-hmm. You have to caulk every joint on the inside, even behind the moldings. When the whole outside of the house is already caulked, you caulk behind the moldings too.
Wow.
So it's really airtight.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's very interesting to just be a part of a forward movement. And
wow.
So this is, I'm certain that this will attract some volunteers who want to be part of this innovation.
Yes.
So tell us
Yes.
how you can become a volunteer. I know you've put it up on SHARE Greater Lynchburg.
Right. At this point in time, we have not broken ground yet, but we are planning on starting in the next few weeks. Probably next week they'll break ground. After that point, we'll be ready for volunteers. The easiest way is just to email me, amherstcountyhabitat@gmail.com, and I will put you in touch with our construction lead, and he sends out emails generally on Sunday evenings telling what the schedule's going to be, what we're going to be doing for that week, and then anywhere you're interested, just plug in.
That's great. Well, we'll feature it in our newsletter this Thursday and make sure that people know about it. Tell us a little bit about the Greif relationship. I know Greif has a fund at the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation, and they chose to grant from that.
Greif is a wonderful corporation in Amherst County. We have actually, when we build a house on that end of the county, they'll send their maintenance crew to come do the electrical for us, which is pretty cool.
That's right.
That's tremendous.
Yes. And, our houses are sold based on the cost of construction.
Okay.
So anything that we get done volunteer through a corporation or whatever really reduces the cost of our houses.
Sure.
And we're 0% interest, and it fees. So it's just dividing that house payment by the 360 payments for the 30 years, and whatever it costs is what they pay.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it is cool. But Greif has been a wonderful partner, and it was interesting. They would call from the shop. They'd call their lead and say, "Get back over here. We've got a problem." So they'd all pack up, leave, and
to go back to work.
To go back to work, and then come back.
They have a fund, a corporate fund at the foundation, and then they decide every year what nonprofits they'd like that to go to as employees. So that's a really neat relationship.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
About how many homes has your organization built since its inception?
We have finished 42, starting on 43 and 44.
That's tremendous. And what are the qualifications for families?
I do things a little different. We have what we refer to as Homebuyers Club.
Okay.
The Homebuyers Club is 12 weeks, 6 classes, 6 2-hour classes of required financial training. I teach the classes, and once they have to sit in front of me for 12 hours, they're ready to either really do good or run out the door. But we have chapters on insurance coverages, the importance of insurance, how to get your finances in order, how to save, which most of these people are living pillar to post.
Yeah.
Y'all have probably never heard of the ALICE studies. ALICE is,
Yes.
okay, you have.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
absolutely.
I think you're the first people ever. But ALICE in Amherst County, it's really heartbreaking. The state is 10% of the population is below federal poverty guidelines. Amherst County is 13%. And that's, I don't like being above the average and something like that.
Yeah.
But for the people in the ALICE category, the asset limited, income constrained but employed, that are robbing Peter to pay Paul, juggling their bills, the state is 29%. Amherst County is 56%.
That is
56%.
Wow.
Over half the people you run into every day cannot pay their bills,
and they're working,
Right.
but they just can't make ends meet.
they can't make ends meet,
Yeah.
and the reason is because of the lack of affordable housing. Actually, the lack of housing in Amherst County.
Yeah.
There's so few rental properties, and therefore the people that own those rental properties can jack the rent up.
Wow.
And, I have people paying $700, $800, $900 a month for a 2-bedroom when they need 3 or 4 bedrooms.
Wow.
They're sleeping, the parents are sleeping in the living room, and the kids, each sex in a different bedroom, just because they can't do any better.
Yeah.
And I can put them, the last house, house number 40, so it wasn't the last, but the first of those 3, was for a family of 8.
Wow.
And so they now have 3 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms,
Okay.
3 bathrooms.
Wow.
Living room, dining room, kitchen.
That's tremendous.
And they were crowded basically into 2 rooms.
So, folks can learn more if you visit sharegreaterlynchburg.org. If you just type in Amherst County Habitat for Humanity. You guys have an upcoming event, a fundraising event that you guys have done for years now. Tell us about that.
This is our Bluegrass fundraiser. It's run about 22 years. With a few interruptions with COVID, as everyone else has had. But we have 5 bluegrass bands. This year it's New Standard, Wound Tight, Little Mountain Boys, Deep Blue Express, and Glory Bound.
Okay.
And we serve Pitmaster barbecue that's made on, by some of our volunteers, hot dogs, baked beans, coleslaw, and it's $15 a ticket at the door, and it's all table seating, so you're not jammed up on top of people, and all the chairs facing the stage, and It's a great program. All the bands are donated, donate their time every year. It's just a good show.
And where is it at?
Madison Heights Community Center.
Okay.
This was our first year there, but I think it's going to be good.
Great.
Well, tremendous. And still looking for volunteers that would be interested in joining the program. Do you need any kind of special training? Do you need to be a contractor?
No.
Okay.
No. Matter of fact, we have 3, I'll call them lead volunteers.
Okay.
And they will work with, we have a group from Liberty University on their LU Serves Day that have never basically touched a hammer before,
Yeah.
but we teach them how to build the window frames and door frames and that sort of thing. So
That's really neat.
hands-on.
Cool.
And about how many folks do you need for this build?
Generally, 10 to 12 is a good number.
Okay.
Roanoke Habitat has just recently finished an ICF house, and they're sending one of their construction leads and his right hand to come help us.
That's
so
fantastic.
That's going to be cool.
That's
And
fantastic.
Nudura, the company that makes these forms, is sending one of their representatives
Wow.
to help us get
Good.
started on
Very,
it.
very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
If you'd like to learn more about how to volunteer, or if you'd like to learn how to register for one of these homes, if you'd like to learn about home ownership in general, contact Amherst County Habitat for Humanity. You can learn all their information is available at sharegreaterlynchburg.org. Wow, I had no idea the statistics of the home issues or the lack thereof in Amherst County.
Yeah. It's pretty sad.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll feature all this in our newsletter on Thursday and put all the links to the connections. So if you didn't catch all the dates and details, you can find that in our newsletter, and you can sign up on our website for the newsletter.
Absolutely. So Megan, how are things going at the foundation?
Great. Yes. I think I mentioned last week we would be announcing the recipients of our Youth Philanthropy Council awards. We had 27 regional high school leaders come together and interview and visit different nonprofits who had applied for a $10,000 and a $5,000 grant. So just last week, we announced the winners, and Roads to Recovery received the $10,000 Wells Fargo Wealth Management grant, and that was voted on and decided upon by these youth. And the $5,000 grant from the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation was to Kids Haven, a center for grieving children. And so I think the youth elements of these nonprofits really touched the hearts of youth. And we'll be having an awards ceremony and celebration coming up in March at CVCC, where they'll present the winning, present to the nonprofit. So that's been a really neat program to take part in. And tomorrow is the deadline for the Century Fund application. It's a $100,000 grant that is given out once a year, and it's for a transformational project, so a capital campaign or finishing off some big initiative, that has been in the works for a while. So we're seeing those applications trickle in, but the deadline is tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. So that's coming up.
All right, so get on it, folks.
Get on it. Time is ticking.
And
this is the fifth time we've awarded this grant, and it's been really neat to see what the recipients have been able to do with those funds in the past.
And it's truly that is a transformative amount.
Yes, exactly.
It really is.
And we have an awesome committee. They just met last week, and they're just so excited. They get so excited about this process. So,
very cool.
And for SHARE Greater Lynchburg, we have our spring mixer coming up. It's going to be at the Hillcats Stadium.
Nice.
That'll be launching their Community Champions program, where we have nonprofits be the beneficiaries of different games throughout the season. And it's just, we usually have about 60 or 70 nonprofit leaders come and fellowship, and a lot of cool organic connections happen in those spaces. So that's March 6th at 9 a.m. It's a morning coffee.
Okay. If you'd like to learn more about all of this, visit sharegreaterlynchburg.org. It is such a great resource. And if you are part of a nonprofit organization that is not on the SHARE platform, it's free, and it's a great resource. And folks, if you're looking for volunteer opportunities, even at the board level, you can learn more. You can find those opportunities, connect to organizations that tug at your heartstrings, or your skill level and skill set. You can find them all at sharegreaterlynchburg.org.
Awesome.
All right. Well, folks. Oh, sorry, Bill. I turned off your mic when you stepped out of the room.
I moved it away.
And then I turned it back on. Did you have nothing to add?
I'm useless.
You have nothing to add at all?
No.
Okay.
Except that Debbie's fantastic, and that's a great organization.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
Well,
thank you, Bill, for that.
Wonderful to have.
We appreciate you weighing in. Each and every Tuesday, Megan joins us, and we really appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking so much time and explaining your organization and what you do. It is the Mike Show. It's the Tuesday edition. Coming up, we've got your audio vault. Stay tuned.